Yeah, young nigga curse her. Shortstop sideline brick. The folks watch, but they ain't on shit. Reporting live from the yet with that still reporting live from the yet.
Yo, what going, gang? It's your boy Fata, and I'm back with another motherfucking reaction video. Now, this a little different, but it's still, kind of goes with my channel because I do gaming and shit. And Madden has been on some straight bullshit, especially with the franchise. But apparently, in the next Madden, I've heard they added some new shit in franchise. So hopefully, it's like how it was in the PS2 games and shit, where you had actual depth. EA. And we need that because Madden shit is ass. It's been ass for like the past decade. But look, we finna go ahead and get into this video.
EA Sports just revealed the deep dive on franchise mode for Madden 24. They dropped a whole new trailer and a bunch of information on their site. So I'm going to go over all the information with the trailer playing in the background so you can see what franchise mode is looking like for the new game. And if you don't want to miss out on all of the other Madden 24 news, especially the early gameplay I'm going to have for you guys really soon, make sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon on so you don't miss those videos when they drop. So let's start with the biggest addition this year, the return of training camp. It says here, at the beginning of each season, training camp will give you the opportunity to improve your roster by running some of your players through a series of mini games. In Madden NFL 24 beta, we included every mini game in training camp, knowing we would optimize the list based on player feedback and sentiment we received. The reasoning behind this was to ensure that training camp remained a fun and worthwhile experience, but also was something that didn't take an extensive amount of time before being able to start your season. At launch, training camp will consist of the following mini games, and here you can see them up on the screen here, and these are all of the major mini games for each position group. There are some extra mini games as well that you can play on the home screen, but some of them are just different variations of these drills, so not really something completely different, but something just a little bit harder. Continuing on, it says, inside training camp, the process is simple. First, choose your mini game. Mini games are available for every position on your roster with the exception of the offensive line, and the mini game selected will determine which players on your roster are eligible to play. From there, you can choose any eligible player, but choose wisely as each mini game can only be completed once, and a player is only allowed to complete one mini game in training camp. Once inside the minigame, your success dictates your gains as you vie for bronze, silver, or gold medal with varying awards based on which each medal you achieve. The rewards can come in all different forms, including skill points, which will allow you to upgrade your player. You're not obligated to participate in training camp if you only want to play a few or none of the mini games. The unplayed will be simulated with a random weighted chance for either gold, silver, or bronze in the same fashion that is done for the CPU. Weekly strategy. In addition to training camp, mini games have also been implemented into the weekly strategy loop. Each week, after selecting your offensive and defensive game plans, each of your focus players except offensive line will have an opportunity to play through one minigame. All 26 minigames will be available, but each focus player will be limited to playing the minigames they are eligible for. Also, because there is a weekly task, the rewards will be much lower than in training camp, and it essentially is used as a modifier for that player's bonus focus XP. They also added a very important dev note here that says minigames and franchise will play a bit different than minigames in the front end. This is because in franchise, players will use their true ratings with a few exceptions. We've adjusted the medal thresholds to account for this. So basically, when you play mini games outside of franchise mode, if you're playing them just at the home screen of the game, everybody kind of has even ratings to make it balanced. But inside franchise mode, because the whole point is to upgrade players, you're going to use your actual ratings, which will make the mini games a little bit harder, but they've adjusted the thresholds for that. Moving on to trades. Following the barrage of blockbuster trades over the last couple of seasons, we knew that our trade system required a much needed overhaul. Quite simply, our previous system just flat out couldn't replicate the trades and even the draft. And in Madden NFL 24, we made a number of improvements to allow for more fun, more flexibility, and more realism with trades. Additional trade slots. The amount of trade slots in Madden 24 has doubled from 3 to 6. And expanding these slots, we wanted to maintain a balance between realism and the fun of stepping into a GM's shoes. And the unfortunate reality is that the vast majority of NFL trades include 1 and sometimes 2 players, but very very rarely more. However, the fortunate reality is that Madden is a video game, and sometimes being ultra realistic isn't necessarily as fun, so the amount of players you can add to a trade package will remain at 3, while the maximum number of picks you will be able to offer will be all 6 slots. Extra draft picks. Being able to include up to 6 draft picks in a trade meant we also needed to provide you with some additional capital to be able to pull off these blockbuster trades. We've added an additional year of draft picks, so you'll now be able to trade or trade for draft picks from the current year, the following year, and
wow.
2 years out. Trade tuning. There are endless numbers of factors that go into how trades are offered and or accepted. With the additional trade slots, it was vital that we made a complete pass over our trade tuning heading into Madden 24. Throughout the cycle, we uncovered a number of issues that were causing problems and inconsistencies with how players were being valued, and have made many improvements that should result in players of all types being valued more consistently. In addition, with the extra year of draft picks, an additional pass on the value of draft picks needed to be done. While in the draft, we tried to replicate the infamous draft pick charts that you see and hear about coaches and GMs using so often. Get offers. In Madden NFL 23, we added the ability to get generated offers for your players and opposing players, as we've made several improvements to its functionality in Madden 24. All the trade tuning mentioned above also applies to the get offers functionality, and we also identified and fixed an issue from last year where occasionally there would be offers populated that would not be accepted when attempting via mutual trades. When you get offers for a player, whether he's on your team or another team, there will be a counter offer button when highlighting a potential package. Using this button will return you to the manual trades with the trade slots already filled with the assets from the package you selected, and allowing you to readjust your offer. Commissioner tools and settings. Each user and league can be widely different when it comes to how they view and want to play a franchise. For this reason, we understand that it's vital to continue to add tools to the franchise mode sandbox that allow users to customize and adjust their experience to their wants and needs as much as possible. In Madden 24, we've added a number of new commissioner settings, so whether you're in a full 32 user league, a league with just a few friends, or you're riding solo, you'll have more power to customize your league more than ever. Draft chart reordering. There is now an on-off option for the reordering of the depth chart. With this setting on, the depth chart will be reordered to accommodate new acquisitions and slot them in accordingly. With this setting off, it will be up to you to reorder the depth chart at all times and place any new acquisitions into the depth chart. And I know this is a big one that people have been dying for. They thought this was a bug for many years, but actually it was just intentional. Now that's gone. Draft class strength. We've done a lot over the last couple of cycles to make our generated draft classes more unique and more fun, but outside of hand editing the classes, there hasn't been an easy way to customize and adjust classes until now. Under League Settings tab in Franchise, you'll find an Edit Draft Class Strength. From here, you'll be able to edit the strength of each position with the options that include very weak, weak, normal, strong, and very strong. Each setting will adjust the likelihood of certain types of prospects generating, so on very strong, there will be more top tier prospects, and the chance of seeing a generational is 10 times higher than on normal. On very weak, the opposite is true, where generationals won't even have a chance to appear, and other top tiers will have an extremely low chance. They also added a dev note here that said for these settings to take effect, they will need to be set prior to the current season's draft being generated, which takes place in regular season week 1. If changed after the class is generated, they will take effect in the following season. Offensive and defensive play call settings. Previously, cooldowns and play call limits were universal setting that applied to both offensive and defensive sides of the ball. This year, commissioners will have the ability to apply these limits to offense and defense independently, which is another really great change. Fantasy draft order. Previously, the fantasy draft could only be played in a standard order, going from picks 1 to 32 each round. This year's commissioners can choose this or a snake draft, which reverses the order each round. Free agent motivations impact. The impact of motivations on player signing can now be adjusted or turned off. Raising the impact makes it easier to sign interested players, but more difficult to sign players with lower interest. Lowering the impact makes it easier to sign players with low interest, but reduces the effects of a player having high interest, making them more difficult to sign than they would have been. Trade difficulty. Trade difficulty can now be set with easy/very easy, which reduces the value needed for a trade to be completed, or you can go with hard or very hard, which will do the opposite and make it harder to acquire those top end players. Home field advantage toggle. There is now an on and off option for home field advantage when playing games, allowing home field advantage effects to be turned off. Tuning this toggle will turn off home field advantage as well as all of the M factors, and that's another one that I know a lot of people wanted. Some people like the momentum stuff, but there's a lot of people that really hate it, so now you can turn it off if you don't like it. Progression and regression sliders. There are now age-based progression sliders in addition to position-based ones. Players will progress at the rate based on the average of their age and position settings. Regression sliders have been added for both
and the
age and
wave
position,
advantage
and a
shit.
player's rate of regression will now be based on the average of their age and position. So you can have running backs that regress early, which is more typical in real life, and QBs that regress later, which is more typical of real life as well. Free agency negotiations per stage. Commissioners can now set the number of free agents a team can negotiate with during each stage of free agency. Each stage can be set to 1, 3, 5, 10, or unlimited. Draft timer. The draft timer will now have an option to be on or off. When on, it will function as normal, and while off, picks will not advance until they're made by the CPU or user. In addition, we've added the ability for co-commissioners to advance the draft, allowing for more flexibility if your commissioner and whoever is on the clock happen to step away. Draft generators. This is another really big one here in my opinion. You might be asking yourself, what is a draft generator? It's a loaded term, but the short answer is they're the heart of every draft within franchise mode. Each prospect you see while scouting and scouting the draft board is the result of a draft generator. Last year, we added over 30 new generators to break the mold and offer fresh and fun new opportunities when scouting and drafting. In Madden NFL 24, we've added over 50 new generators to the mix to continue last year's initiative and provide more fun, dynamic, and memorable draft experiences. Some of these prospects include generational prospects. In Madden 23, we introduced some of the best prospects to ever appear in Madden via our generational prospect generators. Heading into Madden 24, we wanted to continue to provide users with the ability to find these gems and cover the gaps that they were unable to fill in Madden 23. This year, there will be generational prospects available at every single position, with new generational prospects across the offensive line and at fullback, tight end, defensive end, safety, and even punter. These prospects will come into the league ready to start immediately with the highest possible dev trait for their position. 99 club prospects. Again, building off the foundation of what we introduced in Madden 23, there will be more 99 club prospects this year that will enter the league elite in a specific area of their game. Be on the lookout for new running back prospects with top end break tackle and injury, wide receivers with 99 juke move, guards with 99 impact blocker, even the perfectly hydrated hitting machine at linebacker with 99 hit power. Utility prospects. In reading feedback regarding the types of prospects that you wanted to see, there was a common theme amongst wanting more out of position type generators, as well as prospects that were more multi-dimensional than we currently offered. Based on the feedback, we added a number of generators this year that go well beyond their assigned position. We have a couple of QB generators that will come in with receiver attributes and can be moved to wide receiver or tight end. Some other exciting generators we've added include a cornerback generator based around being a former wide receiver, as well as a massive defensive tackle that also possesses some ball carrier skills. Injury prone prospects. The age-old saying is the best ability is availability, and that's something you'll have to strongly consider this year, as we've included some elite prospects with one catch. They have incredibly low injury ratings. Pay attention when scouting and drafting, as you'll have to seriously question whether to risk it all on an elite prospect who may spend most of their time watching from the sideline. Other draft class updates. Adjusted the weight and frequency at which each archetype can generate at each position to more closely match real-life rosters. Previously, each archetype at each position would have virtually the same chance of being generated when a class was created. In Madden 24, we adjusted the weights of each archetype, so more rare builds like slot corners, scrambling quarterbacks, and deep threat receivers will generate less frequently. Tune the college selection for top-tier QBs to weight bigger schools more heavily and reduce the amount of top QB prospects that come from mid, major, and lower-level schools. Normalized all prospects to the default morale level to prevent any ratings changes when viewing players following the draft, and also adjusted our generators to accommodate the new jersey number rules. Relocation. Here's another big one people have been waiting for. This year we wanted to revamp the way relocation is handled with franchise, making it more accessible and giving a visual refresh to the older style uniforms that have been in the game for years. Relocation is no longer limited to owners. You can also relocate while playing as a coach. The process of relocation has changed, now allowing you to select your new city, team branding, and stadium immediately after choosing to relocate. Once you select your stadium, your relocation will be completed, and you will be in your new city with your new team. You'll be able to relocate again once the next season starts. We've added 15 new cities that you can relocate to for a total of 34 cities. The new cities are, here they are up on the screen. You can see a lot of them are even out of the country, which probably isn't the most practical thing, but it's a video game, so who really cares? The way names and logos work has also been updated. Previously, each city had 3 name choices that were limited to that particular city. Name choices are no longer tied to the city, rather being available no matter where you move. The Oilers, however, remain exclusive to Houston. Houston. Uniforms have been entirely refreshed. Previously, you would select a uniform set and only have access to that home and away uniform. Now selecting a logo choice lets you access a unique home, away, and alternate uniform for that logo. This will allow 9 uniform combinations per team. Salary cap management. Managing the salary cap has also been critically important to building a championship roster. This year we bring 2 more pieces into the fold: contract restructuring and 5th year options. Keep your young talent within the organization longer and open more opportunities for growth by leveraging these unique NFL contract dynamics. Contract restructuring. Contract restructuring allows a team to reduce a player's current year salary, distributing that money as a bonus to the remaining years, including current of their contract. This act provides immediate salary cap relief, with the downside of having increased value of the remaining years of a player's contract. During the season, this may be used as a necessary step towards bringing in a free agent or making the money work when trying to acquire more talent through trades. In the offseason, this can be used to extend players on expiring deals or make high-profile signings in free agency that previously wouldn't be possible due to a team's cap situation. Not all players are eligible to have their contracts restructured. A player must have multiple years remaining on their contract and be making more than the league minimum salary. Players on rookie contracts cannot be restructured until they've completed their 3rd season in the league per NFL rules. 5th year options. The 5th year option is a mechanic available for all players selected in the 1st round of the NFL draft. The option gives a team a choice to include a 5th year to a rookie's contract calculated based upon salaries of other players at their position and whether they have made the Pro Bowl in their career to date. The 5th year option must be either accepted or declined by the team after the player completes their 3rd season in the league and prior to the start of the 4th season. In previous Madden titles, you would have noticed the 5th year option scenario that appeared in the offseason. This was an easy to miss surprise for most users and one that was unavailable to CPU controlled teams. To fix this, the 5th year option has been fully integrated into the re-sign system and the screens for users and CPU alike. Player value and logic improvements. While we challenge every user to create and maintain the greatest dynasty the NFL has yet to see, the real competitor in almost all leagues are the CPU controlled teams. For these teams, player value is the most important metric in their behavior. We have continued to refine these calculations this year with the focus on decision making in regards to re-signing players. CPU teams will better identify key players and take more care in offering the perfect contract. Talent tree expansion. Head coaches, coordinators, and player personnel now feature 3 full talent trees. With new trees comes a new emphasis: choice. Most trees are now set up with A or B pathing, where once selected you will no longer be able to purchase talents on the other side of the tree. These paths are geared towards a dynamic within a given playstyle or other themes to make every choice clear. Head coaches and player personnel can specialize between developing the offensive or defensive positions, whether it be training XP for coaches or signing likelihood for your player personnel department. Offensive and defensive coordinators have seen a complete overhaul with 12 new trees available each. The combination of these trees will create experts in different playstyles, which present a whole new approach to developing your staff to get the best out of your roster. With 2 playstyle trees and 1 single positional guru tree, it is more important than ever that the coordinators you choose to lead your players align with the game plan of your team. So you can now choose coordinators that specialize in receivers or quarterbacks, which is really cool. Other miscellaneous updates. Ability slots. I talked about this in a previous video. Players can now get up to 4 abilities on the team outside of just the quarterback, so that's nice. Morale tuning and scouting UI improvement, which we don't really know what that means, but hopefully it just means a scout.
The end of the video. Shit, Madden. I mean, this is pretty much the same shit. They just added minicamp and made the contracts a little bit in depth. Not the whole bit, just a little bit. And they added, more teams and shit. But, I mean, I don't know. It's just wait and see, really. But I probably am going to be getting the game just to try it out. And I will be posting it. But until next time, y'all boys be safe, man. And I'm out.